The expectations of today's society regarding racing animals have changed greatly in recent years and continue to change. The harness racing industry needs to be conscious of those expectations and implement changes of its own accord rather than be influenced by outside pressure. Many drivers struggled with the early rule changes, but whip use has improved markedly without impacting on the performance of horse or driver. However, the number of penalties still being incurred suggests that further modification is necessary. The new rule calls for a wrist-flicking action only, an action that will limit the force of impact but still allow a means of communication between driver and horse. Harness Racing Rule 156, Part 2, Part A stipulates that a driver shall only apply the whip in a wrist-only flicking motion whilst holding a rein in each hand with the tip of the whip pointed forward in an action which doesn't engage the shoulder. B, for the purpose of subparagraph A, wrist-only flicking motion means 1. Ensuring no force is generated by the use of the elbow or shoulder when applying the whip.
Driving the horse out here, keeping the bit in its mouth, not loose reining, making sure I maintain full control of the horse. We want to keep our forearm nice and low, keep our wrist nice and low, flick the horse along, wrist-only action. 2. The forearm is not raised beyond 45 degrees relative to the racing surface. Wrist-only flicking action, trying to not let my arm get above that 45-degree angle.
And 3. Not applying the whip with overt force.
When we're driving out with our wrist-only action, keeping in mind we don't want that arm to come above 45 degrees and not use too much overt force in our action. So keeping the hands relatively still, using a wrist-only action with no overt force.
The industry is calling for the cooperation of all drivers, whether you drive on a regular basis or only once in a while. This rule applies to you. Every drive, every horse, every race. Give bad habits the flick.